day, Seth. Seth, I'm wondering, I think you've only missed the playoffs once here before maybe your first season.
Yep.
But even beyond that, do you recall heading into an off season with more uncertainty, with more sort of question marks about where this might be headed? I know you're part of it, but just we're talking really all spots of the roster. There could be some changes. Just thoughts on the uncertainty surrounding this team.
Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainties, of course. Whether it's UFAs, RFAs, goaltending, coaching, really all of the above. So, I'm sure the leadership group will talk. You guys know we're going to have a chat with Jarmo later today and talk about some things and try to figure some things out for the future.
How interested are you in that meeting? How many answers do you think you're going to get? I mean, I think it can't be too specific, I guess, because it takes two to tango with some of these things. But how interested are you in what the blueprint looks like?
We already sat down as a leadership group and discussed some of the topics that we wanted to bring up to Jarmo. I'm sure he's going to have questions for us as well, and we're going to question him on some things. And I think it'll be a great conversation for us to have. Hopefully, we can come out with some answers. I'm sure he wants answers from us, and we want some feedback from him as well on how we can get this thing back moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and Seth, in my time doing this, I was thinking about this. I don't ever recall a situation where a player has had more leverage than you have this summer contractually, or you're perceived to have anyways. How do you plan to use that, or what are your thoughts this summer on getting something done quickly, putting a lot of things to bed? How much hinges on your decision, and where are you at with that whole process?
Well, I'm just unwinding from the season. I think, as you guys know, I'm still here for another year as of now. And, I can't really sign an extension until July 1st anyway. So, but of course you have talks, my agent and the GM and myself will have talks well before that. So, we'll see where that goes.
You feel a weight, a pressure? I mean, a lot of people have said that where this team goes in the near term may hinge on what Seth Jones decides to do, if he wants to stay or if he wants to go. How do you handle something like that?
You know what? I think it's a situation that, you only get once in your lifetime. And there's a lot of pressure and people are looking at you from all over, but I really have to take a step back and think about, what I want. And, it very well could be here, but like I said, just unwinding right now, and I'll obviously be in touch with Jarmo very soon, of course.
And that meeting today, is that kind of the first step in your thinking or your thoughts about what you want to do long term, what his vision is at this point?
As a leadership group, we talked. I think it may not. I don't really have an answer for that. But I'm just like I said, I'm whining from the season. Just really taking a step back, letting some things play out, and we'll see where that goes.
Thanks, Seth.
Okay, next we'll go to Brian Hedger. Go ahead, Brian.
Seth, kind of a two-parter here. First, nobody likes to lose, but if I know anybody, you really hate it. How difficult was this season for you? And in kind of line with what Aaron was just asking, is it important that, maybe you get some time until you have to make that decision, space it out from what happened this year?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely not making a decision right now, if that's what you're asking. Like I said, I'm here for another year. I plan to be here for another year, and we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, I mean, how tough was this season though, and did it change your opinion about the Blue Jackets or potentially staying here at all?
Well, no, it was just a tough season in general for everybody. Then really nothing went right for us right from the start, whether it was injuries or myself not playing well, some other guys not playing well or up to the standard we needed to. We just didn't gel in time, or we just didn't play well as a team this year. And it's unfortunate. And I wish we could have been better for the city of Columbus, for the fans, for ourselves. And, there are a lot of uncertainties right now, but, we have to find a way to be better as a whole.
Yeah, there's been a fair amount of talk recently in the media and whatnot about Columbus as a market and whether it's desirable for a young player to be here a long time, kind of a thing. What when you look at, you've been here a while now. When you look at it, how much do you think you'll put into that versus the hockey and being able to win here when you make a decision?
Well, I don't think there's a problem with the city of Columbus at all. I think it's a bad reputation as a city. These are some of the topics we'll bring up with Diarmo as well later today. But I think that, obviously a lot, word of mouth travels when it comes to certain things, and we have to figure out a way to be more of an attraction for free agents in the future so we can become a better team.
Yeah. Thanks, Seth.
Okay, next we'll go to Justin Holbrook. Go ahead, Justin.
Hey, Seth. Cam just mentioned that in his first 4 years, there was kind of just a hope to make the playoffs, and now it's developed into an expectation because the culture has changed. How do you continue to change that culture in that direction where you don't go back to hoping for playoffs, you expect to be there and then expect to do well in them?
Well, I believe it's a mindset beginning of the season, whether it's, it starts right in training camp, right on through. Everyone's on the same page when it comes to work ethic, the time you put in, the commitment level you put in each and every day, whether it's games, practices, video sessions with coaches, one-on-ones, anything, workouts, anything to become a better individual that's going to push this team forward is key for us and key to the success of any organization. So you have to have that drive and that will, and hate to lose, really. So, like Porty said, beginning, I've only missed the playoffs that first year I was here. So this is a bit strange, but I think we've developed that culture over time to make it a certain certainty that we do get in the playoffs every year. And it's never earned, or it's never just given to you. Sorry. It's always earned through the regular season. And I don't think we earned it this year, obviously.
Thank you.
Okay, next we'll go to Allison Lucan. Go ahead, Allison.
Hey, Seth, you already mentioned, that there were a lot of people just not up to expectations, and this is not about any individual, but this group has always been so successful defensively. Are there things you look back on that you wish could have maybe come online quicker, or that the team as a group could have been stronger at, that would have reinforced that defensive reputation that this group has?
Yeah, I think we shot ourselves in the foot a lot this year when it came to our goals against, and we turned the puck over quite a bit in the neutral zone. That was a topic all season long that we discussed, and that's something that we need to become better at. We need to become a little bit smarter at picking our spots with the puck, trying to make plays through the neutral zone. Our division had a lot of high-powered offenses this year, and the two Florida teams, the Carolina team. Even Dallas, Chicago, and we gave up a lot of easy goals. I think put our goalies in a tough position a lot of the time, and so we have to be better with that. I think that'll help our goals against and keep our chances against down in the future.
And when you talk about the neutral zone impact there, was that you guys weren't able to recover from maybe a turnover, or was it positioning in the defensive zone itself? What led to those goals against, do you think?
Probably a little bit of both. Did have some turnovers that were tough to recover from, so a lot of odd man rushes in key moments of the game, but also defensive coverage. I think as a D-corps myself, I know talking to the D-corps that we wanted to be a lot harder this year in the corners to play against and down low. I think with that comes, it was maybe a lack of communication a little bit this year and defensive coverage and everyone knowing their assignments. So that's something that's definitely going to be a focus moving forward.
And this, of course, relates to all of this as well. But one area that you were able to at least clean up a bit was the breakouts. How did that feed into all of this? And what did you do to get the breakouts maybe moving a little bit more effectively, at least towards the end of the season?
Yeah, we had a tough start to the season. I think as a D-corps, we didn't move the puck as well as we wanted to. weren't making the plays on retrievals, using each other and finding our open forwards. And then, kind of halfway through the season, we started to become better at that. But it was almost a little too late. We always pride ourselves on being the engine of the team, and we weren't at the top of our game when the team needed us to be at the start of the season.
Thank you, Seth.
Okay. Next, we'll go to Mark Scheig. Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you, Glenn. Seth, just now that it's officially official, just what was the biggest influence that John Tortorella had on your career? Obviously, a lot of different things, but what stands out for you?
I think his will to win. He was always on top of everybody. Doesn't matter who it was, whether it was me at an intermission, our goalie, or any of our top players, or right onto the lineup. He always, found a way to motivate us with a speech. Obviously he was a very fiery coach and a very emotional coach at times. But at the end of the day, he wanted to win just as bad as we did. And he's one of the most passionate coaches I've ever played for. And he's definitely helped my development, through these 6 years I've been here, 5 years, tremendously, coming in here as a 21-year-old and getting put into, big minutes in different situations. And when I was in Nashville, my first couple of years, and the player I've grown into, he definitely has a key role in that.
So that benching against Chicago still sticks out in your mind today?
Yeah. I actually talked about it a couple of weeks ago. That came up in a conversation I was having with him over the phone. So we still laugh and joke about that one.
So the young D, obviously when Savard goes, other guys have to step up. I'm just wondering, what were your thoughts on, Andrew Peak, Gabriel Carlson, Dean Kukin, and others, Mikko Lehtinen, stepping up and playing a significant role in their team? Did you like what you saw out of them?
I did. I loved it. I think the future is very bright for the D-Corps here. We've always prided ourselves, like I said, on having a very sturdy, respectable D-Corps. And, it's just, I know Jarmo's probably happy and all of us in the locker room are happy that we have these young guys that can come in here and step right in and play, especially kind of in these weird times. Toward the end of the season for us, they came in and they worked hard and, Peeker and Gabe and Letts, they did a great job. They're physical. Even Bayreuther, when he came in, he, was making a lot of great plays. They weren't scared of making plays. And that's something I really like to see.
And just one more for you. Just your team has been able to overcome a lot of obstacles in your time here. When you first got traded in the Ryan Johansson situation, we got through Panarin and Bobrovsky, you guys were able to enjoy success. But this year you had the Pierre-Luc Dubois situation. And do you feel like that was different than maybe some of the things in your past? And did it affect your season, when you look back on it now?
I don't know. Pierre-Luc Dubois was obviously a great player, special talent. Jarmo had to do what he had to do. Obviously that was out of any of the players' hands at that point. And Jarmo was trying to do his best for the team, which, we got a great player back in Patrick Laine. And, but, it just seemed like there was obviously the drama at the start of the season. I don't know if it didn't really help anything. But I don't think it put our season. I didn't think that was the main reason our season went the way it went.
Okay, and we'll wrap up with Brian Hedger. Go ahead, Brian.
Hey, Seth, when Jarmo was talking to us earlier this morning, he mentioned with the new coach, one thing he's looking for is somebody who's going to come in and kind of continue that high standard that Tort set for you guys that you just talked about and that kind of thing. Obviously it'll be a different voice and a different approach. How tough is that going to be to maintain, and how much of that is going to fall on the leadership group among players?
I think more now than ever is going to fall in the leadership group. I don't think it's obviously that's something, that doesn't just happen every day. A culture doesn't happen every day. It's upheld and maintained by, the general manager, the coach, the leadership group every single day, and whether it's games or practices. And, I think great teams, the coach doesn't really have to do a lot of yelling. It's mostly the players doing, the talking, players doing the motivating, the correcting of other players. And sometimes it might not always be pretty, but I think the locker rooms that police themselves are the best locker rooms and become the best teams for it. So I think our leadership group is ready to take that next step. You know, me, Boone, Cam, Bjorky, you know, Gus, I think that, and Zach, I think that we can all be a little more vocal and lead by example, definitely.
How closely are you going to be watching the coaching search and everything? And you're going to have that meeting this afternoon. Would you be opposed to, expressing your thoughts about what you think would be the best kind of style or whatever coming in here?
I'm sure Yarmo has, I'm not sure what he's done so far for any of the coaching search, but I'm sure us as leadership group will talk to him about that. That'll be a point that gets brought up today about what we think is best for our team.
Do you think that the next coach should have NHL experience?
I think it doesn't really matter. I think that I think everyone wants a coach that loves to win, has a winning mindset, and I think that's really the main thing that a coach needs to have. Needs to be passionate about our team, and that's all I have to say about that.
Last one I'll have here to wrap it up is, you guys brought in Michael Del Zotto this year, obviously on a 1-year deal, and he earned, actually on a PTO, and then he earned the 1-year deal. Would you like to see him come back? Or did you like the way he played? Do you think there's something there that he could add, going forward? I know you're not the GM, but just when you look at it.
Yeah, Michael's a great player. He came in and was probably our most consistent defenseman this year, right from the start, especially when I was struggling earlier in the season. He was making plays out there. He was being physical. He was an older guy in the room that, knew how to lighten the room up a bit or be hard in the room. So it's great to have another veteran in there, especially toward this, after the deadline, really, too, when, we lost some of our veteran players at the deadline. So, I got along with him very well. I know everyone in the room loved him and loved being around him.
Thank you.